Hello, hello. There we go. Mic's working now. Sometimes it cuts off on me. Hey, what's going on, fellas? How's everybody doing? So we have been vindicated. Also, shout outs to the UK. You guys are showing out big. I think estimated 3 million people, if not more. Yes, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. We finally found out the real connection here. I posted about it. I made a whole video about it. Got hate. Still getting hate. Now I like how it keeps moving, right? The goalpost. Somebody in chat just posted, so what? He's gay. Yesterday, what was it? You don't know that he was a leftist. He was a groiper. He was a Nick Fuentes fan. He was a MAGA. Constantly, they were trying. He was wearing a Trump shirt. All of that was fabricated. And so the plot kept getting thicker and thicker. Now his trans partner turned him in and is cooperating with the FBI, confirmed by multiple news outlets, including the president. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Now, what is the left going to say? So what? So what? Just like Nancy Pelosi was saying, so what? We say a couple things. We call you a fascist here and there, but there's crazy people. We're not, liable for anybody picking up a gun and trying to make a difference. Isn't that something crazy, huh? And I called this radical trans stuff a long time ago. I actually have a short that says that politicians and people high up are going to start getting targeted by freaks like this. Interesting, yeah? He was a furry, dude. I got to put it up here for you guys. We have, by the way, fixed our, let me double check. We did. Oh, both chats are working. Interesting. Okay. I was trying to fix that earlier. Which chat do you prefer, the top box or bottom box? Tell me. What's going on, guys? Give me a 1 for the top box, 2 for the bottom. Let me put my grapes up here. Top box. 1 for top, 2 for bottom. And then we'll start the show. We're getting a lot of 1s. Okay. Yeah. A lot of 1s. Okay. Let's set that one up then. Make this invisible. Trying to see over my mic. All right, cool. Get rid of that. We'll copy this one. Hey, what's going on, Kareem? How's it going, guys? We're just setting up the chat, saying we'll get started here. Thank you for your patience. Angry Tate yelling down there. We'll leave this dude up on the front. Go. And that should disappear, and that should appear on the left. Okay, dope. Cool. There you go. I tried to get this done offline, and but it didn't work. But okay. We have some sleek. We brought back the really old super chats that have animations and stuff. Okay. So this one will be a bit more positive once we finish covering this one. So it said Charlie Kirk shooter's roommate ID'd as Lance Twiggs The guy was a 22-year-old tied to transgender's partner, reports. Twigs turned in Tyler Robinson. His partner turned him in, showing police texts about hiding the gun that was used in the killing. Robinson lived with Twigs in Utah and reportedly had a transgender partner now cooperating with authorities. Twigs' grandfather refused to deny a trans-related motive. I don't want to comment on that. Sources Daily Mail. But this was confirmed practically everywhere now, including the President of the United States. And vindication for what we were saying about the trans radicalism that has seeped into society today. And everybody trying to gaslight from the left, saying, no, this guy has right-wing ties. He's a right-wing extremist. They were posting him in pictures with a Trump shirt that was doctored by AI. They were posting saying that he has far-right ties because he grew up in a MAGA household. They were saying all sorts of things about this kid, trying to paint him as somehow being from the right, which he wasn't. I told you guys when I listed in the video a couple of days ago, all the shooters that we had in the last 10 public tragedies were all trans. If I still have that photo, I'll look for it right now. But it's a shocking list that's extremely recent. I don't have it all here. Okay. It's on the community post. Hey, what's going on? Now, what does this say about where do we go from here? Well, we have to have a discussion about the kind of people that Democrats support, fund, and elevate in society, which are simultaneously mentally ill. This used to be a psychological classification, gender dysphoria, and now we have to deal with the blowback of empowering these people to the point where they felt like, or I should say, we all felt like second-class citizens around them. You couldn't misgender them because that could get you fired. You couldn't say anything counter to the ideology because you were a bigot, whatever, phobe, transphobe, and that could cost you your life. That could cost you everything. You could get arrested for simply driving over and peeling your tires on a rainbow flag. These people were elevated, had prestige in society. They were getting contracts with companies to do commercials. Do you remember that guy that was saying day 57 as a woman? And started getting Maybelline contracts or whatever, the makeup company contracts and all that stuff. What was that guy's name? He disappeared. I forgot what his name was. He's so fucking irrelevant. The hell was his name, if you guys remember? Dylan Mulvaney. Yes, Mulvaney. That guy just disappeared, fell off a fucking rock. We were empowering these people. You couldn't get away from it. Commercials everywhere. Rainbow flags everywhere. The community, the ideology pushed down everybody's throat everywhere. Spearheaded by the Democrats. And this was not that they care about these people and that they're vulnerable, because they're victims. These are mentally unstable, mentally vulnerable people. And you know what the Democrats did? They did the most disgusting thing they could possibly do, is take advantage of somebody mentally incapable by spinning up chemical castration drugs, sex change operations, putting them under the care of people that don't have their best interests at heart, essentially brainwashing them to turn them into zealots for the cause, for the Democratic Party, permanent constituents that will never go to the conservative side for obvious reasons. Because what do conservatives believe in? Gender, biology, which is ironic because the left is trust the science, get the jab. Trust the science, you anti-vax bigot. But when the science says, and a child could tell you, because they can tell there's only two genders. When a child could tell you there's two genders, somehow that is now not scientific. It is a construct. This is the hypocrisy of the left. And there's many more like this. This isn't the only one, by the way. But this is one of the most prominent ones that we have to deal with as of today. Now, there are COVID mandates and all that stuff. The vaccine information coming out now is another nail in the cross of, you could say, the left. But this right here is about the 12th one that has just happened, where we have confirmation of a trans mass killing. This is not the last one. I have warned in the last couple of videos that trans radical communities are extremely dug in, hard line, and absolutely ready to explode. These people are extremely dangerous. They feel like they're on their last leg. This guy, it's almost crazy. If you remember the mouse utopia experiment, we are at that stage where we have those what were those handsome mice called? The men that start sleeping with the quote, the mice that were the male mice sleeping with the alpha males, the pretty group or whatever they were called. They had the beautiful ones. Yes, the beautiful ones. They had a name because it's in a twisted way really hard to compete for a woman today because most men are economically unviable. That the beautiful ones have now started appearing in our utopia experiment of humanity here. And they're shacking up with these quote guys. They're not even the alphas, but your hand versus a dude. And some men are picking the guy because he was transitioning to a woman. This is the pretty male mice. Yes. So we have a huge, huge problem in society where the degradation has already been tested in a laboratory. We have foreseen what happens to that population. We are currently on a trajectory for population collapse as it is right now today for the things that we've seen in the, he's not going to prison, bro. Somebody said he's going to be a girl in prison. He's getting the death penalty. He's getting lethally injected. So, you know, going back to the white utopia or white utopia experiment, the mouse utopia experiment, we know where this leads next. There will be more like him, more radicalized, and more that are emboldened. They saw the past couple of days what happens when you take out a prominent conservative leader, that they will cheer for you, that they will elevate you, that they will call you a hero, that there are millions of people that support you. This is the most disgusting part. And today, Nancy Pelosi refused, Democrat leadership refused to condemn what has happened and that they were culpable in it. They simply made an excuse and said, no, we have the rhetoric that we're using. There are some crazy people out there, the messaging, they're going to take it how they take it. Incredible. Can you imagine if conservatives said what they wanted and your excuse was, well, you know what? The far right loonies, the ultra far right, if they take it how they take it and start mowing down the left, not our problem because we said that. That's insane to be gaslighting everybody in this fact. Disgusting how this inside trading ghoul that's 100 fucking years old is somehow still in leadership positions for the Democrat Party. They are rotten to the core, not just the party themselves and the leadership, but their constituents. Rotten to the core. And I know there's going to be people in the chat going, but not all Democrats, but you are silent, so you are complicit. A lot of you went along with this messaging. A lot of you were cheering on for trans radicalism when it was happening. That we have to fight the fascists. We have to protect these people's rights. Here they are protecting their own rights in cold blood because you egg them on. Your party eggs them on. Your party elevated them to a special status in society at the detriment of everybody else. We had to play pretend with mentally ill people that should be in an asylum. When you have somebody that's a schizophrenic, somebody that can't, like, is completely disassociated from reality, you don't pretend along with them, their delusions. You don't enable them. You're supposed to help them. You medicate them and you help them realize that their delusions are not based on reality. We did the exact opposite. We took sick people and enabled their delusion. And now they are wrought upon society as a plague that will affect us all. This is not going to stop here. There are thousands, tens of thousands of people like this that are polishing their weapons, gearing up for mass tragedies, waiting for their moment. Because for them, it is life or death. Because if they don't get their drugs, if they don't get their gender assignment surgery, if they get misgendered, it is a worldview that is being crushed. This is what makes them dangerous. They feel like they have no way out. I've said this over and over again. And the Democrat Party is complicit in all of it. And leadership will not be responsible. They do not have any accountability. On CNN, they keep trying to pin this on Nick Fuentes, on Groypers, on MAGA, on everybody not left that they could possibly pin it on. Oh, but he was just a normal guy. I even saw it on Bill Maher. We don't know what he is. We don't know. A conservative figure gets assassinated, and your first guess is totally he probably got assassinated by somebody further right than he did. Could not have been somebody to the left. When a far left politician gets assassinated, you're probably going to assume is the far right. If a Jew gets murdered, you can pretty much assume anti-Semitic, right? If a gay person, it's probably a homophobe. If it's a blah, 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 you always can assume based on the person that got murdered or their affiliation politically, who did the shooting. It's incredible with these people, the amount of gaslighting. They don't care that people are dying. They don't even have a shred of decency about them. They couldn't even apologize for this. They can't tone down the rhetoric right now. Yet a lot of them will still write articles about why he deserved this. Have his life taken away, his son and his daughter to grow up without a father, with that disgusting video that is visible for everybody. All because you don't want this to be pinned on the ideology you are pushing. Disgusting. They have no human decency. They don't have any good morals. This is the party of degenerates, the party of murderers. I wish there was a redeeming quality to Democrats today, but this Democratic Party is not the Democrats of 20, 30, 40 years ago that were championing the rights of the working man. This is not them. Not at all. It's absolutely disgusting. Let me get this real quick. Sweating over here. It's hot. Let me play some of the chats and test this out.
Serbian American, I love your work, brother.
Appreciate you. Thank you for the $2. Okay. We got those working. Great. There's no moderators. Okay. Let me get some people that I know. Let's fix the chat real quick. Anybody spamming is going to get banned right now. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna make some mods real quick. Just some voices I recognize in the chats. Yeah, ban all the. Kareem just made you a mod. Eric, I'm gonna make you a mod if you want. Yep. Here we go. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I haven't been streaming lately because internet stuff and equipment issues, but yeah. Start banning people. Yeah, if I recognize some other names in here, I'll add you as mods. But not all hope is lost, guys. So we were having a conversation about what news sources are reporting this. I almost all of them now at this point, actually. Okay. Yeah, who is this idiot? All right, banned. Let me ban this dude real quick. Yeah. Get all the morons out of here. All the leftist deranged idiots that have no sense of humanity. Knowing that your worldview is crumbling around you, that nobody agrees with your stupid mentality and your ideology, that you have no friends, that you're lonely in this world, that nobody fucking likes you, that you sit in your room all day on fucking Reddit and do nothing but be miserable and getting further indoctrinated because you are a fucking low-life piece of shit who laughs at a man being murdered. You're disgusting. Literally a scumbag. Imagine, bro. Jeez. Okay. But we do have actually some very positive stuff. I know we were getting into it with some people from the Black community. They were upset that we were just calling out the degeneracy in every community, especially. We had a conversation. It wasn't on this channel, it was on the other one. I don't know if it went live or not, but we were talking about what was going on with European societies and white people, and why we have a issue with these ideologies and succession, why we create great societies and then they fall. And we can't maintain power, or we can't maintain a decent law and order society, why we always fall into degeneracy either generations after or right after a strong leader passes away, the once in a generation, why we have a succession problem in Western democracies. And especially today, we have a masculinity problem with all of society, but especially within white men. And we're discussing that. So I get on every single community. We do have an issue in every single community, and I'll call it all out. I have no problem. But
OC to Onejek was sent $10.
Thanks, brother. But some people, unfortunately, think that I'm only attacking one community, and then would be calling the same people from that community that's very butthurt, fragile egos. We're also the ones that are calling Charlie Kirk a racist and a fascist. But here's what Charlie Kirk has done for people from within the community.
Charlie Kirk sent me a direct message, and I'm going to show you what it said. This is almost 6 years ago exactly now, as of this video. I had not spoken to him in person or on social media. He started the conversation. You know what he said? 3 words: you are terrific. Now bear in mind, this is back before I was blessed with the followership I have now. I had fewer than 10,000 followers on Instagram, very small Facebook presence, wasn't even on TikTok at the time. But the fact of the matter is, this young man, this leader of Turning Point USA, reached out to me and saw something I had done. And he felt so moved that he reached out to me himself to encourage me. And then he went a step further. He invited me to the BLS, which is the Black Leadership Summit Turning Point USA was putting on in Washington, D.C. I told him transparently I was in between jobs and didn't have the money to fund my trip. He told me that they had scholarships available and to email him directly and he'd be able to take care of it. I did, and that's the story of how I got to be a part of the Young Black Leadership Summit, which was instrumental in springboarding me to where I am today.
Nice.
Now I share that story because he didn't have to do that. And if he was a racist person, why would he do that? I'm so tired of people being besmirched by the tired liberal lie that anyone they don't like has to be some sort of racist. And I'm not immune to this. They call me racist myself. Of course, it's ridiculous on its face. But this is the nonsensical nature of your average leftist. They really want you to believe deep down Charlie Kirk hated all black people. He saw the best in everyone. He saw in me something I didn't even quite see in myself at the time. And he chose to encourage me. That is why I will literally and metaphorically pick up that mic and continue the work that he started. Because I myself and many others are tired of being slandered and maligned by individuals who have nothing to sell us but fear, panic, and lies 24/7. I had to share that story with you. I thought about keeping that to myself, but the more I see him being typecast as some sort of evil person, the more I cannot be silent, and I hope that you will not be silent as well. It is time for action like never before. It is time for voices to rise like never before, and I hope you will join me in that effort. So that is the real Charlie Kirk, the one they don't want you to know, but the one I will continue to remember and honor with my actions into the future.
Incredible. I had that post on my account. It said Black Excellence, and there's more of it. More examples, great examples of Black men and women in the community pushing back against ignorant motherfuckers from within their own community, which is exactly what the community needs, right? Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Call these people out. Enough babying them. Enough pretending we don't have a problem. Love it.
I didn't realize how sick liberals were until this Charlie Kirk situation. Like, I don't want to live on the same planet as these people. Like, I have experienced real racism in my life, actually. You know? And I don't think those people deserve death. You guys can't even deal with an actual, like, political discourse with a center-right political figure. It makes me sick to my stomach that I have to live amongst you. It makes me sick to my stomach that you guys exist in our society. You guys can say whatever you want. Conservatives have a heart and a soul far more than you ever will. I didn't realize how sick.
Beautiful. And then this was my favorite one.
Sent $4.99.
Thank you,
what
bro.
are your thoughts on this? Why Charlie and his crew never had security or drone maneuvers on the rooftops after seeing Trump assassination?
Colleges are the ones radicalizing these people.
Thanks, bro. I think that's happening. Let me turn this one off. I think that's happening for one reason. They thought they were safe on a college campus because he was just coming there to talk. He was fairly moderate. Death threats were fairly normal all the time. And the problem with that is that you can't really take these loonies serious. Nobody thought it would happen on a college campus because all the attacks have been in very particular places like Catholic schools or, Christian schools or whatever, wherever they've been at, mostly, schools and stuff of that nature. So, but targeting religious people, kids, not on college campuses. So, although that's a school too, but what I mean is, and then they've never targeted somebody super high profile. Of course, you could say Trump and the kid missed, but he was really a one-off. Most, if you look at the last 10 or 12 public tragedies, most have been just innocent people that were somehow adjacent in their life. So one guy shoots up the school that he went to because of whatever happened. Another one like massacres his classmates because, classmates. Another, so there's always some sort of relational kind of side to this from attackers. This one was strange in that he most likely was, I think the story that's going to come out is that he was radicalized by his trans roommate into doing this, that was blowing him literally, and in their weird furry relationship. And that person was trying to transition to a woman, could not get the medication that they needed, probably because conservatives have come into power and that entire ideology was put to a halt. So that was a direct threat to his relationship. And that to him felt directly like hate, you can say. That's what's crazy about that. Let's actually play some of these. Oh, we can't hear that? Thank you for the $10. Well, let me double check. Oh, there was no message there. Okay. Thanks, brother.
Bo, what are your thoughts on this? Why Charlie and his crew never... Hello, Bo. What are your thoughts on immortalizing Charlie Kirk as one, on a postage stamp before Christmas card season 2, canonized by the US-born Pope?
I don't know what to think of that, bro. That's...
We all hope that reason and evidence are going
to
win the day, but it turns out they just tell you that to propagandize you as children, and when you grow up you realize that it does jack in society.
Mm-hmm.
Feminization of men was always the goal, to take the power away from men, disempower men.
Yeah. Someone said, in order to be canonized, you must perform miracles, actually. Yeah. I don't think being a political figure would meet the mark for that one, if we're being honest. And then we have our final video here, I believe. And this woman really goes off on all the ignorance.
Yeah, I'm so angry. I'm angry and I'm sad at the same time. Now, I did a video a few minutes ago saying that Charlie Kirk has been shot at Utah Valley University and he's in critical condition. And it just came out that he died. And condolences to Charlie Kirk and his family. But y'all, I'm so angry. I'm sad because this should have never happened. This country has become so divided that a person feel like they can take your fucking life because you don't agree with them politically or you won't get in line and think the way they want you to think. Now, we all know Charlie Kirk didn't believe in transgenders and a man could be a woman and all that, and that's his fucking right. But, you know, these people hate him so much because he got Common fucking Six, because he believe in biology, because he believe in science, because them bastards love to say follow the science, and the science tell you either male or female. You either got an XX chromosome or XY chromosome. You either got an XX chromosomes in a vagina or XY chromosomes in a dick. And because he got common sense, they hate him for it. They hated this man because he said there was no systemic racism. Because the only reason your ass ain't doing nothing in this country is because you lazy as fuck and don't want to get up and do it. They hate this man because of the way his views. But, you know, they want everybody, the Democrats, the leftists, the progressives, want everybody to fucking get in line and believe what they want to believe, want them to respect them, want them to call them 103 different goddamn pronouns, but they don't want to accept your views on anything. And they have taken this man's life, stolen this man's life from his children and his wife, and I am fucking pissed. And before any of y'all motherfucking niggas come on my goddamn page, I'm like, oh, you crying over a white woman, bitch? I'm goddamn crying over a man who lost his life for his political views, and it don't matter to me what race it is. He's an American who should have never lost his life. Oh, if you got, I know some of y'all niggas finna come on my page with that bullshit. And let me tell y'all something else, because I'm sick of TikTok too, and I don't give a fuck if TikTok take my page down or what. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do. But let me tell you something. If you're a woman, if you're a conservative, if you're a MAGA, if you're a fucking Republican, if you don't have a gun, you better go get one. You better go get one, learn how to load it, learn how to go to the range. Because these motherfuckers y'all trying to play nice with, the left, the Democrats, the progressives, they not playing nice with you. They out here shooting to fucking kill. They're trying to take your life. It's either their way or no way. That's the way they see it because they've been so goddamn indoctrinated. But the Democrat is a fucking cancer. Cancer to this goddamn country. They're going to destroy this country. They are a fucking cancer, and I hate them some bitch. They love to talk about progress, but we regressing with that bullshit they're doing. They sitting up here got the children so goddamn dumb. These motherfuckers don't even know how to write in cursive, and they not teaching them to write in cursive because not knowing how to write in cursive, not know how to read in cursive. Them dumb motherfuckers don't know how to read their goddamn founding papers. They don't know how to read the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all the shit in the cursive, and they can continue to indoctrinate these dumb motherfuckers. But somebody had the nerve to take this man's life because he didn't agree with him. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. If y'all don't fucking wake up and realize the Democrats don't give a fuck about this country, don't give a fuck about us, it's either their way or no way. Y'all gonna goddamn be lost in more than the sauce, and it is what the fuck it is.
Preach, sister. There you go. That's what I meant. Came with all the receipts and the passion too. This is real, man. Because I know there's a lot of negativity going around, but I wanted to highlight some of the positive. Not everybody agrees with this bullshit. Not everybody is a fucking ignorant degenerate. So I wanted to put that out there for all the stupid fucking morons that are hating and like to throw that word around racist everywhere. We see you, us normal people on over this side. We see you, we understand, and we support, and we hope you keep going. Because there's a lot of ignorant motherfuckers around, and that's unfortunate. Because they are a cancer to society, just like she said. Right or wrong, it doesn't matter what she said and how she said it, or if she's yelling. Truth is truth, no matter how it's delivered. Irrelevant. So, I'm a fan with her messaging 100%. And said, I welcome this energy. It's my first time. Let me replay the last supers.
Hey Bo, just wanna say you're a true inspiration, wish you nothing but success. Ursula von der Leyen talking about another pandemic, don't get the vaccine and don't get the microchip. Jesus Christ is king.
Thank you, brother. All right. Apparently, Tate had a major own on, we're going to go back to the negative side, but they were talking about the Irina murder.
Do you think black people suffer from crime?
And it just goes in right away, huh? All right, so this is them talking about the Irina murder, the Ukrainian woman on the train. And Piers, the good cuck that he is trying to frame this as it was just mental illness and totally not racially motivated. And Tate makes a few really poignant points about why it is. And we've made the same points. So the fact that the guy was next to nothing but other black people, and he targeted the one white girl in front of him, uttering the words, "Got that white girl." And we do have a kind of a, I wouldn't even call it epidemic, but a massive uptick of black on white violence, especially with the messaging that Democrats have again imbued the community with, that whites, you can't be racist to them, that they're oppressing you, that the white man's holding you down, and on the messaging goes, that they deserve it because they're privileged. And so, you know, a certain section of the population has started taking advantage of that kind of messaging. And also, you know, they have the, what is it called? When the character in the movie won't die. He's got the plot hole, the plot armor. So they have the plot armor in society where you can commit 14 fucking crimes and everybody's supposed to feel bad for you. And it's socioeconomic reasons. And we can't say anything, bro, that you're being ignorant, that you're a violent criminal, that you're mentally ill, that you're whatever, simply because of the color of your skin, and you should get a pass. At least the Democrats think so. So they get into this conversation. Let's go.
Do you think black people suffer from crime? Do you
I think
they are
everybody
also
suffers from crime? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I would argue, and perhaps I'm wrong, but that's never happened before, that a black person isn't killed because of the color of their skin. They're going to be killed because there's some other drug dealing debt for them to deal with in inner city Chicago. That young girl was killed because she was white. It was a hate crime, and she was targeted.
We don't actually know that.
Of course we know that.
No.
I'll show you how we know that.
No.
Piers,
I know what you're going to say because I've already
that.
debated it. The reality of the situation, you had a severely mentally ill, probably schizophrenic.
I don't give.
I'm about to tell you.
People are mentally
let's
ill.
deal with some facts. Let's deal with some facts. Then you can give me your opinion. That's how this works, right? He is heard on tape saying, "I got the white girl." Okay, that suggests a potential racial motivation.
Potential.
Yeah, okay, but we don't actually know. And I do think, as I've said publicly, I do think the mainstream media has behaved in a very hypocritical manner. If that had been the other way round and you'd had a white man killing a beautiful young black girl and saying, "I got the black girl," it would have instantly been a huge story covered by mainstream media in a very aggressive manner. The fact that this was ignored for several days was an indication to me that there was a decision taken.
Prejudice.
Yeah, so I think there was a clear bias exposed in the way it was ignored. So I would agree with you about that. But I do think it's important to point out this guy had been in and out of prison 14 times, should never have been let out, but is clearly mentally ill, probably schizophrenic. We don't actually know what motivated him to kill this poor Ukrainian woman.
Do.
And the reason it's important is that once we do establish more information and more facts, we can make a more considered opinion. One of the issues I have with you, Andrew, and a lot of other people, is that there's always a rush to judgment. And the problem with rushes to judgment is later information may contradict what you're feeling in the moment. I remember in the riots that erupted after we had a young black boy killing those poor white girls, right? There was a rush to judgment that he'd come in illegally on a boat on the south coast of the UK. It turned out that wasn't the case. So I believe in waiting for facts and information and then casting a judgment. And I think my criticism of you in these situations is you have immediately decided that was the motivation, therefore it's a racist hate crime, and that's it. And I would argue to you, why don't you give it a bit of time? Why don't you wait for more information and make a more considered opinion?
He's about to cook.
First things first, if we're going to talk about waiting for information, you shouldn't have told me that Israel was not committing a genocide on October 8th. You've been proven wrong. That's the first thing. The second thing, he said, I got that white girl. You're going to pretend that doesn't matter as if it's not proof
I didn't
enough.
say it didn't matter.
Third thing,
I said it
don't
suggests
care
a
if he's
racial
mentally
motivation.
Ill. Everybody who stabs somebody is mentally ill. This mentally ill bullshit, I don't know where this has come from, where someone's a criminal, but they're mentally ill. Every single person who commits murder is mentally ill. Every single person who commits necrophilia is mentally ill. Every single person who believes they can get in and out of a bank with money without getting caught has some kind of mental disorder. They're all mentally ill. I don't care about mentally ill. And here's the final nail in the coffin to your asinine argument, sir. Why did he not stab anyone else on the bus? Because he was already on a bus with 4 people and he didn't touch them. If he's so mental, if he can't control his mind, why didn't he stab any of those? Is it because everyone else on the bus was black? The first white person he sees, he kills and says, I got that white girl. And you don't believe that's enough proof for a court of law to determine that was a racially motivated attack?
It wouldn't be enough proof at the moment for a court of law, no. Absolutely, I believe that. But that's because I've covered many court cases and you haven't. No, as a journalist, I just prefer, in waiting for more information.
By the way, so this is not enough to label this a hate crime, but that woman who called the kid an N-word, what was her name? Shiloh Hendricks, I believe it was. She's now going to jail for a year for inciting something publicly. I can't remember what the charge was, but she's going to jail. She's going to jail for saying words. They can't even charge this guy with a hate crime after literally saying, I got that white girl. Shiloh Hendricks is going to jail for words. From what I hear, this guy got not released, but he was in jail temporarily, and he's now in a hospital. Something of that matter. That's insane. If you don't see double standards here, if you don't think society, and I'm not condoning any of this shit on either side, I'm just saying, like, hey, bro, one person said N-word. The other dude literally said, got the white girl after slashing someone's throat open. You can't even properly charge him with a hate crime. And then you just take him to a hospital. He's not in prison. He's not in prison right now, rotting. He's in a hospital in a nice, comfortable bed after killing a woman. That's crazy.
Black people on the bus.
I think
person, person, who I will agree was probably deranged, although I give no merit to that, although it does not garner any sympathy from me, he clearly had something wrong with him. This person was radicalized by a leftist media machine, which blames every single thing on white people, which says that white people are the devils, that everything white people have done is wrong, that their entire history is wrong, and that they deserve the bad things that happen to them.
You have no idea. You have no idea that he
demonize an entire race endlessly. We're going to end up having a few idiots who act on that.
But Andrew,
and that's what this man did.
But
because
Andrew,
of the media. The leftist media are complicit in what happened to this poor young girl.
Actually, you have absolutely no idea if anything you've just said is remotely true.
I have absolute certainty that it is a fact.
None of it. It's not a fact. If it was a fact, we'd all be...
It is a fact.
No, it's not a fact yet. That's the point. This is my point. Again,
the
off you go.
Media has done
off you go, making a series of assumptions.
For as long... Okay, all right. If you want to be smart, let me prove you wrong.
I'm not being smart. I'm just saying it's not a fact.
Wrong once again. This is... Piers. I'm well-versed in you by now. This is easy. Let me ask you a question. If there's an Islamic terror attack, like the London bombings, and then Abu Hamza, Mr. Hook, Captain Hook, he ends up going to jail for a very long time. He didn't blow anything up, but no, he was talking about how Islamic terror attacks should happen because he believes that people deserve them because of his personal worldview. He was instigating so that some idiot would listen to him with less brains than him and then go and murder. What is the difference between that and what the leftist mainstream media is doing by constantly demonizing white people constantly and endlessly?
Well,
there's always going to be some...
Yeah, if you don't see the parallels here with the trans situation and Charlie Kirk, where they feel that they're under attack, that the system is against them, that, you know, all these things, if you don't see the parallel between that and then how they demonized and called conservative fascists and authoritarians, and how you call white people evil and that they deserve everything coming to them and that the societies they've built are all evil and built on oppression and stolen land and, you know, whatever it is that leftists like to say. If you don't think people are listening to that kind of messaging and then will begin to act on every impulse. We have a lot of mentally ill people in the world today, especially in America. Very many at the very bottom on all sides of the aisle. They just need to hear the message, go, and they will start to act on it. When you, for years, institute all these like DEI policies, this sensitivity training in the corporate world and in government, and you'd have to decenter white people from your life, and you need your non-white spaces where blacks are only allowed on college campuses. They're black spaces, the BIPOC spaces, whites not allowed, segregation in a sense. That starts to build resentment. Now, white people aren't even a part of those conversations in those communities anymore because they've been decentered in the messaging. What do you think happens behind closed doors? How radical it becomes? What kind of things they say to one another? What kind of acts that they will plot and eventually one day institute to the real world? You don't think there is language that they hear in college, on TV, from the media, that it drills into their brain and they talk with their friends and one day they act on these impulses, these sick people? You don't think that happens at all? Can you imagine if the right had nothing but negative, super racial, disgusting messaging for certain people nonstop, and it's blasted in college, it's blasted in school, it's blasted by the leaders? It's an acceptable form of discrimination, just like it is acceptable to discriminate against white people. What do you think would happen eventually to those that are being discriminated against? Do you think there will be an uptick in violence against them? Do you think you could trace it back to all the incendiary rhetoric that's been going on for a decade, a better part of a decade now? I think so. And it's okay to admit that. Even if you're on the left, it's okay to admit that you are biased and you are most likely the exact racist you gaslight everybody else into thinking that they are. You know, every accusation is an admission with these leftists. So there you go. Let's see.
Amazing. Okay.
Who's mentally impaired
Allow me
on
to
some
respond.
level, who's going to act upon
Allow
it.
me to
So
respond.
we're locking up Islamic extremists
All right.
for discussing violence against
Allow
people
me
who
to
are not
respond.
Muslim. We should also be locking up anybody who's demonizing an entire race,
Yeah.
demonizing all of their history, and demonizing them to the point where they cannot get on a bus. They can't get on public transport without worrying about being murdered. And I have a future on this planet where I'm not here. There's a future on this planet where my white daughters exist and I am gone. And they will be victims and targets unless white people start standing up for themselves, standing up for their beliefs, and standing up for their nations. Because you're the only race which is being erased. You're the only one. Nobody is invading and erasing any other race. Only you white people. And you seem to sit there and wonder, oh, maybe it's not too bad. Maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's because of that. It doesn't matter. The world is tribal. You're not going to exist much longer if you don't stick up for yourselves. And you are clearly targets of an orchestrated campaign. There is a campaign which is designed to demoralize and eradicate you. And there are a few idiots who listen to this campaign and act on it savagely in real time on your public transport systems that you pay for with your taxes.
When you stop shouting.
Let me ask you a question, Pierce.
Well, why don't you just stop shouting for a moment and let me respond?
Pay the majority of taxes to import white people who don't work to replace them? No other race on the planet would commit suicide to this level besides the white man.
Yeah.
And I'm here to encourage the white man to stand up for himself.
Well, since you mentioned taxes, you could explain why the police had to seize more than £2 million from your
streets, considering you can't even wear a nice watch in that city anymore. Is it white people or black people who are doing the stabbing? I'm half white, half black. You can't offend me. Just tell me the truth.
And who are most of the victims?
Who's doing all the killing?
And who are most of the victims?
Well, some of them are black. Some of them are white. It doesn't matter.
Actually, the vast majority are black. So your whole argument, the whole argument you've been shouting about, the whole argument you've been shouting about for the last 10 minutes, you've just exposed yourself as being a misleading argument.
Absolutely not. I don't care if black people kill only blacks. I don't care if black people only kill Chinese. Black people shouldn't be killing. There is an issue within the black community which is leading them towards violence. We can discuss whether it's genetic. We can discuss whether it's cultural. We can discuss whether it's systemic. We can discuss that. But it is asinine and ignorant to pretend that there is not a culture within the black community which is leading to violence. There clearly is. There clearly is. And that needs to be addressed. I say this as a half black man myself. My father was black. Half of my family is black. But I'm not blind.
I've just said to you that I know that there is a big problem with young black men in London committing knife crime, and the vast majority of the victims of that knife crime are also black. That is just a statistical fact, right? So it just flies slightly in the face of your white genocide nonsense, which I call nonsense because there is no evidence of a white genocide.
Dude, white Brits don't even make up half of London anymore. They're a minority in their own capital. If that's not a replacement, then what is then? Please tell me, what is?
Of course there is.
No, there isn't.
Of course there is.
No,
White people are losing their countries in real time. White people are less percentage of the population of Earth than they've ever been.
Do you even know what genocide means?
Being replaced.
Do you know what genocide means?
Genocide? They're literally disappearing from the planet, sir.
This may explain why you keep saying genocide about Israel from October the 8th onwards. You said it was a genocide. It may be you don't understand what a genocide actually is.
Of course I do. I very clearly understand what a genocide is.
Well, if you think it's to do with white people in England, you don't understand what genocide is, do you?
That is a genocide. The level of psyop, which has been orchestrated upon the white person to give up all of their love of their history, to believe that all of their ancestors' work doesn't count, to believe that their God-given lands aren't theirs, to believe that they have no right to live in harmony or racial cohesion with anyone around them. The level of psyop that's been inflicted upon the white man is absolutely monumental, perhaps the largest psyop in history. Let me ask you, why did the British Empire give its lands back?
What do you mean?
Well, the British Empire, the British are the largest empire in history. Why did we give Uganda back or the Caribbean? Why did we give it back?
Because we took a lot of that land to start with.
Because we took it. Because it is their land, given to them by God. This was the assumption that the British state came up with. Oh, we can't take someone else's land. It's theirs. It was given to them by God, and they have an ancestral right to that land. So what right does that give the white person to the countries that they settled? What right does that give the white person to England? Because it's his ancestors and his land. He has a God-given right.
If you're so exercised about England, why don't you come and live here?
Well, I intend on being your prime minister soon, Piers.
Well, you're going to find that quite...
He's quite the character, huh? But Piers is definitely playing stupid. Probably not a topic he wants to touch. He goes really hard on the trans issues. I think he got really heated, if I'm not mistaken, debating Charlie Kirk, people basically celebrating Charlie Kirk's passing with this ignorant moron right here. You guys can't see it. Let me bring it up. This guy, this dude right here said some real ignorant shit that he's like race baiter. Anyway, doesn't matter. But enough that it pissed Piers off, and he was just like, I don't give a fuck. Piers literally said, I don't give an F. So he has that kind of energy for that discussion, but he can't see what's happening in the UK. If everything was being run properly in the UK and there was no issues, why are there 3 million people currently on the street right now protesting? Make it make sense for me, please.
LA school district openly teaches kids to have disdain for whites. Most non-whites do not like us. We're just lucky we're currently the majority. Imagine when we're not.
I don't know if I'd say most don't like us like that, but they do teach crazy shit in school.
When the world is a circus, walking around wearing regular clothes and working a normal job makes you look like the clown, doesn't it?
Thanks, brother.
North Carolina in general is soft on crime. When those two folk cut me, they were back outside within 2 days, no case. I found M again and handled my business. People with strong family bonds will be able to weather the coming storm a lot easier than people whose only bond is that they share the same delusion. They're the black sheep that need to be exiled.
Appreciate that. Me. Let me pause it right there. I agree with that one 100%. I think you're going to see a massive bifurcation in society with the people that have an intact nuclear family and an extended family, and especially those living outside the cities in general. They're going to have a much better outcome than a vast majority of the city people, even when you account for earning potential of the family. I truly believe that. I think the city is a plague on the mind. It is absolutely a weight on your chest and your wallet today. To even live in the city, it's an anchor that drags you down. It drags down your potential and your ability to climb up the social ladder. The city is full of degeneracy. The city stresses out the human animal. There's not enough space. Everything's too expensive. There's people always in your way. You have no privacy. You're in a low-grade stress, nonstop, anxiety, always there, present underneath the surface. When you hear car alarms or some guy speeding with a loud muffler or the ambulance or the cops or something is always getting your attention in the background in your subconscious. You're being distracted. You never have peace and time to yourself. This erodes you mentally. This wears on you psychologically. Why do you think there's so many people that have mental issues? They're almost always from the city. They almost always live in these high density areas. Do you know why? It's exactly for what I described. This is not a natural home for humanity, for the human person. You need some space. You need to see the trees rustling, the wind through the leaves, the sun kissing your skin. Go touch a fucking stream. Go swim in a cold, icy river. Do something. Feel you're alive. Because what people do today is they're numb. They sit under these fake lights that destroy your vision, that don't let you sleep well, or neon lights in a dark room, staring at screens that destroy your eyeballs yet again and infect your brain with propaganda. Always eating shitty food that's been ultra processed. At the end of whatever comes out from all those ingredients that are mixed, you can't even call it food anymore. We're sedentary now, hardly ever active. You sit in this box, get into another metal box to take you to another box, for which you will do a majority of your sitting. And your outcome is a degenerating body that is no longer functional in the real world. Your mentality goes along, your psychology goes along with it. You begin to uptake radical leftist propaganda online. You go down the rabbit hole, and all of a sudden you find out you're sucking off some furry's dick. Now you're plotting on killing dudes because they're talking on college campuses. Now you're going to get the electric chair. Oops, should have touched some grass. Should have actually gone out into the real world instead of going down Reddit's forums of disgusting degeneracy. And this is the cycle that will keep perpetuating. Do you think our society is getting healthier or sicker? Do you think more and more guys like this will be stuck in that exact environment and situation where they become more and more radicalized? You think this is the end? You think this really spells the end of these radicals? The government will come and protect us. The government will clamp down on these people. The FBI couldn't find this fucking kid for 36 hours or more. Only found him because autists on 4chan did all the work, and then was turned in by his own father, and then cooperated by his trans boyfriend. We got Palantir. We got a whole bunch of this censorship, Orwellian setup going on for the United States. The Five Eyes, NSA, they have all our messages, brother. They have all the Discord messages, all the DMs. They're all saved somewhere. But you couldn't find this guy and didn't have a motive for 36 fucking hours. It took autist on the internet and the dude's family and furry boyfriend to turn him in for you to do your jobs. Kash Patel over there talking about, we'll see you in Valhalla, to a Christian man that just died. We will see you in Valhalla. A Hindu telling a Christian that he'll go to pagan heaven is the fucking wackiest shit. And then the incompetence of the head of the FBI, bro. The guy is sitting there during all the press conferences while the governor is like, he's leading point, he's running point. And he's doing all the talking and updating people on what's going on. You got Kash Patel there like cross-eyed, just like looking around like Valhalla. He's getting honeypotted by fucking Israel. This shit's crazy. I digress. Let me not go too crazy in that. let me not go too crazy in that one. Okay? But it is funny as fuck, dude. The sweet sugar walls have got our man completely just beside himself. His tongue stopped working when we're tracking down one of the most like notorious assassins that we've had in a long time in America. He's just there like, honey, bro, honey, I gotta get home to my honey pot. Get up on the fucking mic and speak. What are you doing? You are the head of the FBI. Take point. Show us leadership, competence. Fuck. This entire government is a clown show. I hate to say it, guys, but right or left, it's two clowns. It's just left are murderous clowns, and the right are clowns with, you know, Israel's hand up their ass. That's really what it is. Jeez Louise, bro. Jeez Louise. I hate to get into this and go back into MAGA and, you know, shit that's happened, but God, we didn't vote for any of this. Please. When we voted, it wasn't for this, bro. Why is there so much in common? And as if we were to forget the Epstein files and all those victims. Not forgetting, bro. No, we do not accept diddlers in government. No, not forgetting that. Just because what just happened the past few days has been so insanely gory, violent, and destabilizing for society, not going to forget the issues here. Well, dollars being debased, can't afford groceries, can't buy a house, can't afford a car. Record number of Americans are homeless. Record number of Americans are going to food banks. Record number of Americans are defaulting on their car payments and their house payments. Record numbers of us are becoming more and more destitute. We just revised down 1 million jobs, something like that, around there. We are officially in a recession. Hello, alarm bells ringing. Got $1 trillion fucking dollars in interest payments. Where's the fix? Kicking the can down the road. What are we doing as a nation? What kind of fucking leadership is this? Everywhere you look, the heads of state, the heads of, and it's not just America, dude. It's like the whole world. What the fuck is happening? We got 3 million people on the London Bridge all over London right now protesting because they're being taken over. And they've got like half the government is not even British. It's fucking madness. What is going, liberal democracy? I have a theory that something happens to strong republics, family values, or even you could say masculine democracies, if that thing exists, where when men are leading and are making the decisions, we have this, and we have a conservative culture. Let me just throw the men thing aside. When we have a strong conservative culture where the man and woman is elevated in society under God, and we have intact families, there's something about those societies that make a ton of headway, a ton of progress, are societies of law and order and safety. Whenever you inject liberal ideologies, liberalism, leftist, progressive ideologies that likes to tear down those guardrails in society instituted in by conservatives, anywhere you look, all over the world where this happens not only in white countries, but in Asian countries and all the other countries if it happens to them as they're developing. We have weak, feminine people that take power, break down all the rail guards that we've established that caused us to get all this prosperity and wealth in order to experiment with these new luxury beliefs because progress, we're bored at our riches and our easy, mundane lives that we feel like we must virtue signal in and bring in some new woke agendas, ideology, new way of life for those people there and those people there and that person there because they're oppressed somehow by the traditional system we have set up. And it ushers in this rot, this weakness where we can no longer come together as one whole community. Now there's 30 communities in one city, 30 different narratives that must be spun, people that must be catered to, 30 people or types of people with their own needs that politicians must campaign for. We never come to a good conclusion on any policy. Nobody gets what they want, and all we get is watered down garbage piece of shit bills that makes us all poor in the group of 30 something. This is why we need a monoculture. This is why we need a one singular identity. This happens in Japan too. It's a great example. Japanese, strong, stable, traditional society. Now they're full of fucking degenerates. Now they're like anime, not anime, what is that shit? Hentai everywhere. They have these weird sexualized fetishes with cartoons and all that. Like what a Japanese man is today is a far cry from what a fucking samurai used to be. The same liberalization of traditional cultures that has empowered men and women coming together and creating families and attaining wealth and climbing up the social ladder. You work hard, you'll be able to get something. Fairness, merit. That shit goes out the window in these disgusting liberal societies that aren't even attached to reality. They try to tell you that if a man puts on a skirt, he's now a woman, or that if a woman cuts her breast off, she's now a man, or that you're somehow oppressed by just existing or the color of your skin. When you live in a completely equal society, there's no law where you can't start a business, you can't do whatever you want to do, you can't dream up the future you want if you work for it. Somehow these people need to fix something that isn't broken. They want to see something wrong. They want to, the white savior, right? The liberal white savior, the liberal savior complex. It's fucking crazy, and it happens in every society. In ours specifically, it's the white liberal that's the savior. We knew that these liberals were always the enemy. Hell, in the black community, knew already. What was his name? Malcolm X. Dude, I love listening to Malcolm X. I love what he says about the white liberals, like a fox. You know, he smiles off to the side, but you don't know he's trying to eat you. These people don't care about these communities that they so champion. They talk down to them like they're fucking mentally ill and dumb. Like they can't help themselves. Let me, the white liberal, help you. But you don't know any better, you BIPOC. It's insanity. It's insanity. These are the same people that are destroying our society. This is a white people's problem here in America, in Western Europe, and all white societies. What is going on? How does this rot take hold? Who funds these Marxist ideologies? We have answers for that. Not sure we're ready for them, though. Our churches are complete jokes today. We have people that are like, we have pastors that are LGBTQ. We have LGBTQ churches. We have, I saw bishops and pastors that were lesbian. In what church is that allowed? This is crazy, dude. I'm not even being conspiratorial. This is a track that has happened for millennia. Even the Roman Empire started falling and started becoming more and more degenerate after the empire achieved Pax Romana, hundreds of years of peace. They got soft again. They started getting degenerate, hypersexualized, experimenting with new ideas, letting in barbarians. Borders become porous. No soldiers to fight anymore. All of a sudden, you wake up and Rome is no longer Rome. Rome is just some part of some barbarian tribe. They just walked in and sacked it. It happens over and over and over again. And yet we can't stop it for some reason in white societies. I'm talking as Europeans. How do our societies repeat this fucking process where we have an issue with succession? Why can't we maintain millennia of peace once our forefathers instituted a system that brings prosperity to their grandchildren? This is one of the biggest issues that we have to solve in society. And now we're seeing it spread to the rest of the world. Jeez Louise, bro. We're dealing with so much stuff. It's because of the massive amounts of weakness in this liberal, individualized, me, greedy, selfish society. How could you possibly have a cohesive culture, a cohesive, I guess, safe, law-abiding citizenry when it feels like it's every man for himself? You're not my brother. You're not my sister. You're an enemy. You look at your neighbor as an enemy today. Oh, they voted Trump. Oh, they voted Kamala. Enemy. They're my enemy. They're my opposition. What happened to the neighborhood barbecues? What happened to we're all American? What happened to the monolithic culture that we had? American. You could be whatever skin color you want to be, whatever religion you want to be, but you're American first and foremost. Didn't fucking matter. Nowadays, I'm not American. I'm this and that. I identify as this. Capitalism, that. Anti-fascist here. Take it all down. What are we doing, bro? This is part of the division that's destroyed this country. And it is being fomented. Both sides play this game. Republicans do it. Democrats do it. Billionaires keep getting richer. The poor keep getting poorer. And it'll be your ass that gets brought up to the front lines to fight for the nation when it is needed. But until then, they will pick your pockets dry. It's just insane that we let them do this over and over and over again. Who are we voting for in the next 2 years, right? Who are we voting for? Vance? Peter Thiel's pet? Concoction in a lab? Backed by all the same donors that have donated to Trump? You want to bring in big tech bros for that mega super powered Palantir that has data and everybody, but somehow a fucking mentally deranged kid that's 22 years old evades capture for 30 fucking 6 hours and only caught because those next to him turned him in. The competence of our government. Who said this? Ronald Reagan? If the government ever knocks and says it's the government, I'm here to help, it's a complete fucking joke. Don't open the door. Jeez Louise, bro. And we're headed down a slippery slope. They're going to start introducing legislation to track you more. I already saw the latest news was that the Trump had signed off on using AI-assisted technology to find anybody that's been obviously unrighteously so, laughing or mocking or whatever, deriding the Charlie Kirk murder in any way. They're going to use AI-assisted powered application and programs to sift through social media and revoke visas that way. What comes after that? What is after that? At what point does the machine inevitably turn back on us? You have to ask yourself, once you give government power, you never get it back. There's only one way to get it back. Historically, we know. Dude, we're in trouble. We are so vulnerable right now. I don't think a lot of people understand because the rage, the emotional turmoil that we're feeling and seeing a father executed on TV in the manner that he was, that we're not understanding the shit that they just passed a bill, I believe yesterday, that you cannot boycott Israel anymore. Under your eyes, it's happening. Our freedom. You mean you can't boycott a country in the United States of America? It's not even America. You can't boycott? What's happening? Dude. People will vote away their freedom in order to get a sliver of security, and they will get neither. We were warned. Our forefathers warned us of this. The founders of America warned us that this would happen one day. And we're walking into it blind. Jeez, man. Let's resume. Let's finish off some of these secrets.
Low-key Tate is cooking his RRN, skull emoji. If you don't deal with the crazies in your community, somebody else will and won't care to differentiate.
Thanks, Sugar Warning. That's really true, yeah.
CK's passing, coupled with the frothing emotional responses from people along with the cancel culture machine on social media, is giving way to the erosion of the First Amendment. This is a false flag.
Thanks, Zentience. Appreciate you, brother, for the 20.
100 emoji.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for the 5 Darwin. My voice chat, guys, sucks at
If
reading.
this is the kind of society liberal atheism is trying to build with transgender shooters, what is it really worth? Reject one dogma to embrace another that's aimed at its own self-destruction.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Oh, everything you say is so damn spot on, and always super grounded and real. You're the greatest and most honest YouTuber covering variety of topics.
Appreciate you, bro. Don't glaze me. I'm trying. I make a lot of mistakes, too. Maybe we got lucky calling this guy out early that he was a furry freak. Maybe we did. Maybe not. Maybe we see a little something. Maybe we're using something called pattern recognition. Maybe everybody else is afraid to stick their neck out. Who knows? I'm sure others have gotten it right. We are sick, though. That's a fact. It's not going to get better. That's also a fact. Appreciate all you tuning in, though. Yeah. Amazon published a book on Charlie's death before he was shot. Heard something about that, but I didn't look into it too much. I know there's a lot of weird stuff going on, and there's some people that really want to pin this on some other state really badly and are looking for threads to make that fit in a neat little puzzle. I don't know what to say about that one. I think it's as clear as day what we got here. If I were to play devil's advocate, I would be pulling on this kind of thread. If this is purely conjecture, purely speculation, it's not rooted in any reality. I will preface with this. I just read that Ben Shapiro will continue Charlie Kirk's tour around colleges for Turning Point. Now, if this was a foreign intelligence job, and there's a certain country that would benefit from potentially taking out a ardent supporter with massive support in the ear of young people who was beginning to ask uncomfortable questions, then that would spell doom for you, as the largest cohort of voters in the next couple of years will begin to be Gen Z. Now, if you were to then have a patsy like this kid and take this guy out to eliminate a potential massive threat in the future, then I can see why some people may find that an attractive conspiracy theory. I can see. Okay. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. Now you've taken out your potential future opposition who is gone off leash. You institute one of your own into taking up his entire organization and continuing it, therefore controlling the narrative. And it's good because it takes the heat off due to the insane coverage that this would get and how public it is, would take the heat off what you're doing to another country or state currently. Takes the eyes off you because things are really ramping up. A lot of countries don't like what's happening there. It's a genocide. It's ethnic cleansing. There is no other word for it. So that is the other side of the argument. I am sure some of the, I don't know, I've heard them called woke right, conspiratorial right, whatever names they want to give them. I'm sure there will be people that will be pulling on that thread and try to make things fit. And great, their viewers will lap it up. I don't know. Yeah, they're calling them the woke right now. That's what they're calling. So that would be probably the strongest argument for that. However, Occam's razor, it's not what it is. Sorry, this is clear cut. We've watched trans radicals say that they were going to kill and shoot and defend their livelihoods. We've seen this. We've had like 10 or so, if not more, of these tragedies from these exact people, by the way. I need to find that post. I just want to remind you guys that there's precedent here, which again, because the way conspiracy theories work, well, that means he's easy patsy because, hey, there's already a precedent set and everybody's expecting it. Can't you see the left versus right narrative isn't real? This is all fucking Mossad. No, dude. No. Unless I get proven wrong like 20 years from now with FOIA requests, like I said. That would be crazy. However, no. Where is this post? Here you go. So, Denver shooter, trans. Aberdeen shooter, trans. Nashville shooter, trans. Georgia shooter, trans. Philadelphia shooter, trans. Iowa shooter, gender fluid. Uvalde shooter, trans. And then there's like a couple more. So, what do you think is more likely? Okay. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, listen, bro, we've been right. I called it days ago. I'm not even joking. I think we might look just to inception it a little bit here before we call it.
Keep up the good work, Bo.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. I'm glad the alerts start working again. Now I'm curious what the left is going to say now that this is all confirmed. I already see a bunch of videos. There's already Benny Johnson's covering it. Paul Joseph Watson is covering it. Everybody is now covering it. And it's all been confirmed. And I just want to show you guys. Here you go. Here you go. What did we write? What did we write right here? What is the title of this episode? Apparently, 2 days ago, we were on it. 2 days ago, we were getting gaslit in the comment section. I didn't even see it until after the video, including in the live stream yesterday. This was MAGA. This was a conservative. Groyper. He wasn't far right enough. That's why he got taken out. Blah, 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 blah. On and on it went. The Democrats, CNN, MSNBC, everybody was pushing the narrative really hard that it's not one of their own. Turns out, on the money with this title right here. Look at that. And I don't mean to gloat because it's so fucking disgusting what happened. And I'm not trying to, but I'm sick of the gaslighting. I'm sick of these people evading responsibility and accountability for the disgusting things that have happened. Again, when I saw that one post that was listing out all the mass tragedies that we've had, it's easy to start fitting pieces together. Happened on a college campus. This has happened like 10 times before already. What are the odds that it's going to happen again? The messaging Kirk had was very anti-trans. He was a very conservative Christian. In the minds of them, the public enemy number one with too much influence. It just makes sense. Okay? That's why I don't buy the other one, the other theory. Especially, look, they're really brazen. They just bombed Qatar. They don't give a fuck. Nothing's happening. America's going to back them. You think they would need to do this? Please, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Look at all these. Not this one. Excuse me. Let me go to the homepage. See what Benny's saying.
Tyler Robinson was a far left-wing activist, this according to The Guardian. Suspect's high school friend says that Robinson was a leftist in the family of very hard Republicans. In a phone interview, one of Tyler Robinson's high school friends, who asked to remain anonymous, said the suspect was pretty left on everything and was the only member of his family that was really a leftist. The rest of his family was very hard Republican, a friend says. Around sophomore year, the friend said that Robinson became more extreme in his political views and always just would be ranting and arguing about them. The friend said that they played video games together a lot in high school and noted that the bullet engraving with the arrows was a reference to Helldivers 2. In a transgender relationship, ladies and gentlemen.
Got him. Got him.
I've been watching your channel for over a year. Keep doing what you're doing. I agree with a lot of what you say.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys, man. Those that have been here for a while, tuning in for so long. I really do appreciate your support. I do it for the love of the game, even when we get shadow banned and get only like 10,000 views a video. But it's so nice reading the emails, the comments, and having you guys show up. It makes it so much fun. He was a gay furry. He had a animal trans, whatever they identified as.
Charlie Kirk hit me harder than I thought it would.
Everybody, dude, I'll be honest. This had a crazy effect on a lot of people. I didn't really want to sleep much that night. I've seen gory videos before, nothing new. You remember Live Leak days, like these Mexican drug lords killing each other, pretty much like hacking each
Societal
other to
Rot
pieces.
Grows by Alex Jones make.
And what they were doing to one another was absolutely insane with like chainsaws and shit. I saw the craziest stuff on there. Something about he was really, what could you really say? Harmless. He had a very harmless center message. All he did was go to schools, college campuses, and debate people, just have a conversation. He was fairly kind in the way he dealt with everybody. Very kind, very fair. Not right enough by a lot of people's mentality. He was definitely the olive branch encapsulated for what the right could be. And something about watching his life get taken away and then hearing about the details constantly dripping in. His daughter was next to him and tried to run to him as it happened. The look on his wife's face, knowing that they're going to be growing up without a father now. That wife will not have a husband. Knowing that what he stood for will live on past him. The message that he was preaching was universally a Christian message: love, repentance, acceptance. We're all sinners. Nobody is perfect. Do the best you can, by the grace of God. And when your time comes, your time comes. And that is an extremely powerful message in a very vitriolic era that we're living in, where the people cheer for your death. And it gets more disgusting than that. They don't only cheer for your death, they harass your wife and your kids. If his kids were old enough to have social media, they would have harassed them too. There are people literally making videos saying, I hope she is next and those kids too. This level of disgusting, is there a word in the English language to describe the people that would go on a widow's page hours after her husband was assassinated to write to her laughing emojis, your kids will not have a father, and I hope you're next. It's extremely difficult to have empathy for people like this. Believe me, the thoughts swirling in our heads involves walls, lineups, other things. I know what everyone is thinking. I know what everyone wants to happen. But because we are civil, because Charlie would not have wanted that to happen. He wouldn't want the country to descend into civil war. That was the opposite of his message, which is why it hasn't yet, which is why you've had quiet, respectful vigils, because he stood for a message of speak before we stop, before it's too late. That we need to unite the country through conversation. The only reason. The only fucking reason. If this was anybody else, I think the outcome would have been way worse. Because it happened to somebody that was an exemplary human being. The way he carried himself and the way he approached incendiary conversations and was respectful to most people is the reason why this has been so peaceful so far. To honor what he was trying to be and to carry on the torch. That's the difference. And yet still, with a man like this, you have people that would go to your wife, to your children, and wish death upon them next. Speechless. Honestly speechless. I lost a lot of faith in the left, a lot of faith in humanity. I don't know if some of these people can be redeemed. I don't know if they need medical intervention. I don't know what they need. I know what they are, and that's monsters. I know it's not okay to do that. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I would never think of going on a page of a famous person, anybody that just got murdered, to go and berate the wife and wish death on her and the kids next. So disgusting. And not only that, I just wanted to bring this part up too, because, some people were really riding my ass about the whole, well, you got too much, what were they saying? You're focusing too much on the black community when we were talking about the Irina murder. And you weren't fucking there when Kevin Samuels passed away and Black Twitter, especially Black women, were rawing his ass all over Twitter, wishing, celebrating, clapping, talking so much shit that he passed away. This was a man that was simply telling the truth. Again, very respectful for the most part. He had very funny episodes with a couple of women and how deluded they were. But compared to what else was in the red pill and the way other men were talking about Black women, Kevin Samuels was as respectable as you could get in that space and was genuinely interested in helping his community. And what did they do when he passed? They fucking pissed on his grave in his memory, laughing, celebrating. He deserved it. So don't fucking talk to me about where were you and be more equal in who you support. I was supporting him. I was with Kevin Samuels, 100% agreed with a vast majority of what he said. I couldn't believe the amount of vitriol his way. At least he went out pumping some nurse. He had a vodka tonic, whatever he had, with a Red Bull and a little bit of Viagra. And I think that combination blew up his heart. At least he went away pumping. And his death was fairly mundane compared to this because it wasn't public. It passed because his heart did. The nurse was there. Mans was getting it in. And that was it. That was it. And we moved on. We were disgusted that these people would cheer for a man's death simply for telling the truth, the medicine that people refuse to swallow. Something's not right in our community. Something's not right with our people. Something's not right with this society, and we got to fix it. Hey, we were doing better before. What happened? Those kind of questions get you hate. So you have this man here that was saying the same thing, but on a wider scale for society, under the Christian lens. Hey, something's wrong here. Hey, our community is sick. Our country is sick. Hey, things aren't going as well as they should be. Hey, we have a problem. Hey, how do we fix this? Let's sit down and talk. And they blew a fucking hole through him. Fucking insane. People make me sick.
Normal kid playing video. Goes to uni and gets completely tuned out.
Yeah. Radicalized. Indoctrinated.
Never forget the Godfather. I only got the master classes after he was already gone. Still on the memes we got because of him. W Mans. The OG, 100 emoji.
Thank you for the donation, brother.
Societal Rot Grows by Alex Jones, making you think lodges are Illuminati. But lodges, which excluded Jews, think of that, built America and helped each other. Thus country is doomed if we don't get back to God.
Well, I guess the silver lining in what has happened is a lot of people are turning back to Christianity. After seeing the way the left reacted, a lot of people started questioning the direction our society was headed. See what he says.
This breaking seconds ago, we knew that there was transgender iconography written into some of the bullets, political messages, along with Antifa messages. And now we know that Tyler Robinson lived with a transgender partner, boyfriend, who is transitioning to girl and is fully cooperating with the FBI and has turned over all communications.
Why do you say it like that? What the fuck? That came out a little weird. Transitioning to girl? Oh, no shit, bro. Just all you had to say is transitioning. We fucking know what's happening. What the fuck, dude?
To the FBI. Ladies and gentlemen, an absolute and total stunning revelation. Let's read it.
What the fuck else would it be? Dude, transitioning to a fucking animal or something, bro? He's going full furry. Fucking wereman over here. A werewolf. Jesus Christ.
Right now, or maybe not stunning, given the scourge of transgender violence in our nation. Exclusive Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson lived with transgender partner. Sources tell me the individual, who's a male transitioning to female, is fully cooperating with the FBI. Sources tell me the FBI had text and other communications between Robinson and the individual that helped the FBI solidify Robinson was indeed the shooter. The last question that Charlie Kirk answered before his murder was, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the past 10 years?
Ooh.
Charlie replied, too many.
Wow.
Do you know how many mass shootings there have been in America over the last 10 years? Charlie replied, counting or not counting gang violence. Then Charlie was assassinated.
Wow.
Here's the video, of course, without any graphic detail.
We didn't need to see that shit again, Benny. Graphic detail or not. I don't want to be reminded of that.
Just when you thought they couldn't get more depraved, they somehow managed to get more depraved. First, they celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder.
Charlie Kirk
I think she got fired, by the way.
just got shot.
Praised his killer.
I think he also got fired or some form of consequences.
Justified his murder by saying he probably deserved it.
I will not ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
Continued to smear him as an extremist after he was murdered, but apparently that wasn't enough. Now they've launched a mammoth misinformation campaign, asserting that Kirk's killer was actually a Trump-supporting
Boy, did that backfire on them greatly, didn't it?
Christian conservative, because that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Tyler Robinson, massive conservative, staunch Republican, big Trump supporter, decides to publicly assassinate Charlie Kirk, probably the most prominent Trump supporter in America, the man who perhaps over any other was instrumental in getting Trump re-elected. It's so patently fucking ridiculous. You don't think they'd have the brazen temerity to even try it. Oh, but they are. Told you all it was a Trump supporter. Straight cis white guy with conservative gun-loving parents. So Charlie Kirk's killer was a straight white cis Christian male from a Republican.
But Paul, he's definitely conservative. He's got a furry boyfriend who's transitioning to a woman. Totally hard right stance right there, because Kirk would never accept such a hard right stance, so he had to be eliminated because everybody deserves their own furry girlfriend.
Family, wow. Charlie Kirk was killed by Tyler Robinson, a white Christian conservative male. Because nothing screams I'm a Christian conservative Republican Trump supporter than literally engraving Antifa slogans on your bullets.
I think the clearest one that says catch fascist, there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. I think that speaks for itself.
Oh, but there's no theme to the bullet casings.
That there is no really chronic theme.
A transgender furry meme. Hey Bella Ciao, a World War II anti-fascist song beloved by Antifa. There's no theme there though, the motive remains a total mystery. The bullet, hey fascists, catch. The left, this guy was clearly MAGA. MAGA may have been quick to point fingers at the left for Charlie Kirk's death, but Tyler Robinson's grandmother insists that they came from a family of Trump supporters. Tyler Robinson's parents, Matt Robinson and Amber Jones Robinson, are both confirmed to be registered Republicans. Oh, you mean the ones who literally turned him into the authorities? The ones who said he was an extreme leftist who vented his hatred towards conservatives and Kirk at a recent family dinner. Robinson's high school friend said he was a leftist.
Don't worry, bro. We're going to get the furry on national news. They're going to get an interview from CNN in their cell as they were aiding and abetting this murder. And they're going to tell us how this is totally a consensual, straight relationship. Nothing ever happened. No furry business here. And that he was totally a hardline, beyond MAGA support, mega groiper. He wanted to usher in the new ultra-nationalist America. Totally. This shit's crazy. How CNN and left stream media is allowed to get away with this shit, to literally put this on TV and gaslight their entire constituency and the audience that's watching them, their viewers, is fucking mind-blowing that this is legal. This is legal. They can do this. This is crazy. If you've read, even on the live chat yesterday, or you go to threads, forums, wherever, like Blue Sky or Reddit or wherever, I think, hold on. If you go to Reddit right now, actually, let's see. Politics. Okay. Check this out. So, let's see. I am so curious. Make this bigger. I remember reading something earlier today, something about MAGA needs to apologize because it was a MAGA shooting. I'm curious. You hear nothing yet. Look, look, look. We're waiting. Look, let me go by new or hot. Is it trending? No. The things you'll see on Reddit, Brazil stopped its Trump 79. Can't remember which country's war he solved. Excuse me. Charlie Kirk didn't shy away from who he was. We shouldn't either. National Guard accident. Where is the trans news? Where is it? MAGA's plan for a white Christian America is unfolding before our eyes. Look, look, look. They haven't stopped. Trump admits he couldn't care less about fixing caustic U.S. political divide. Caustic? It was made caustic by who? They literally try to fucking kill this guy. And if he didn't move his head a quarter inch in a different direction, he would have had his head blown off. But he's the one that needs to tone down the rhetoric. It makes perfect fucking sense, doesn't it? Insane, dude. Where is it? Here it is. Look at this. Charlie Kirk shooting suspect doesn't fit MAGA's reckless political narrative. What do they write here? This is what these people are reading. This is what was posted. It probably aged like fucking milk. They're now saying he was radicalized at college. He lasted 1 semester in engineering at University of Utah. Edit, it was Utah State actually, which makes the insinuation even more absurd. Edit 2, several repliers to this little post are under the mistaken impression I'm trying to deny he's liberal. I have no idea and I don't care. And it's how unlikely it is that it was his college experience that radicalized him. The news is reporting that he's anti-fascist because of the, hey, fascists catch this on the bullet inscription. However, they're leaving out the up, right, down, down, down. The hey, fascists catch. This plus up, down is code in the game of Helldivers 2. It's actually not anti-fascist. So, what else are they saying? All the other inscriptions are other memes. He also dressed up as Pepe the Frog for Halloween. Listen to this, which is a meme predominantly used by the right. Also, a groiper are people who follow Nick Fuentes, who hated Charlie Kirk because they thought he wasn't far right enough. There was an ongoing feud between them. Tyler was at the very least a chronically online edgelord. Didn't have a furry boyfriend that pretended to be a girl. Totally. He doesn't fit their narrative, nor is he the radical left boogeyman they portrayed him as. But worst of it all, it won't matter. Instead of admitting fault, acknowledging it, even further radical right than Charlie Kirk, they'll just deflect. Bad faith actors. These people are completely delusional. Wow. They'll shift saying he was a good kid, but he was radicalized by liberals, calling them fascists and Nazis. Listen to this shit. They're still calling for war and to avenge Charlie Kirk's death against liberals. Wow. You see what they're saying? This is crazy, dude. This is on the front page of this subreddit. Look. 454 upvotes. If MAGA wants to kill each other so badly, can they leave everyone else out of it? He was radicalized by Nick Fuentes and is a groiper, is what I'm hearing. Holy shit. Did this age like fucking milk? And if you go by newest, now they're saying he has a trans partner he was living with. Ah, here goes the post moving. I don't really see why it matters on the shooter's political stance. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy wrote this. Can you see this clearly? I'm not shitting you. I don't really see why it matters. Let me shift the goalpost to outer fucking space. We're going like 5-dimensional here. Did you bury in a fucking wormhole and come out in another universe to reach these conclusions? I don't really see why it matters of his political stance. When the bullet said anti-fascist? Huh? Am I reading this right? Wow. Is the trans partner thing just bollocks? Oi, you got a license to be posting online, Brit bro? I'm really hoping so. I just want him to be as hard to spin as possible. You're going to be disappointed if you actually use the internet outside of Reddit, my friend. Interesting. Do you see how they get radicalized? Even this. Okay. Let's keep looking. This is called the subreddit of politics. You could see how left-leaning it is. It's absolutely out of fucking control. Let's go by new. Van Hollen criticizes Democratic leaders. Who the fuck is this? Nobody cares. Hegseth, nobody cares. Charlie Kirk's death may be cool or may cool some political rhetoric, but NYC mayoral race, gay. Don't care. It's unacceptable. Inside growing concerns of FBI. Don't care. Accused sniper jailed in Charlie Kirk killing awaits formal charges. They posted this 32 minutes ago. Does anybody mention the far left connections? Oh, no. Of course not. White guy who murdered another white guy in Utah with gun awaits charging, as do guys who murdered others with guns in several states also awaiting charging. I don't have all my fucking sound effects. They would all be exploding by now. Unreal. Look, 14 minutes ago. Now that he's a cis, bro, they're saying he's a straight normal, white, and from a conservative family. There's a 50-50 chance that the death penalty is now off the table. I'm not making this shit up. It's right here. This is what they read. This is their news. This is crazy. Who's the publication? Reuters. Of course. How long ago was this? This was updated 47 minutes ago. Does it say anything about this guy having a trans partner? Basically, he's a gay dude with extra steps. Does anybody say that? Right, left, or crazy? I shit you not. Here we go. This was updated as of 47 minutes ago. An expert on democracy and security said it was hard to read too much into the messages left on the shell casings recovered by authorities. An expert on democracy and security. They got an expert on security experts, and democracy, security experts. We brought them on here in Reuters, security. We got an expert, quotation, expert. And they said it was hard to figure out what side of the political aisle he's on. All right, dude. One of the inscriptions read, "Hey, fascist, catch," followed by a combination of directional arrows and apparent reference. They keep bringing up that fucking game. Rachel Kleinfeld, a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, said the symbology found on the bullet casing suggests the shooter had affiliation with the so-called Groyper movement. They're still on that, dude. As of Reuters 47 minutes ago, updated article. 40 fucking 7. The president already said he had a trans partner. Multiple news outlets already reported he has a trans partner and he's gay and he's into furries and they were transitioning. Do you see how half of the country, and this also applies to us. We got to be very careful. If you're one of the ones that watch Fox News or care about mainstream media in any way, the right side is just as brainwashed. The boomers don't know what the fuck's going on. They think they're getting good news from Fox News. Same shit, but nowhere near, or probably the same. It just depends how awakened you are. But the Groyper movement, dude, half of the people follow this and say this is an authoritative, news source. This is real right here. This right here. Groyper. This is how you see that these people show up to these streams or the comment sections and they go, he's Groyper, dude, Nick Fuentes, and he's a total MAGA, straight white male, cis. Dude takes it up the ass by a fucking dude in a furry costume. This is crazy to me. It's an electrical ideology or ideological movement marked by video game memes, anti-gay, Nick Fuentes, white supremacy, irony, she said. Fucking Rachel Kleinfeld. Fucking Kleinfeld over here. It certainly leans right, but it is quite electric. This Kleinfeld, like Nick Fuentes, eh? Wow. Fuentes, they're going hard on trying to frame this guy, dude. Holy shit, Nick. Sorry. Nice eulogy, by the way. Never watched your channel until that eulogy. Just kidding. Now I watch every day because of that. Who has called Kirk his foe and adversary, has denied any link between his movement and the killing which he condemned. My followers and I currently being framed for the murder of Charlie Kirk by the mainstream media based on literally zero evidence, he said in a post. Kleinfeld said that in some respects, the ideological beliefs of the shooter. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the expert. The ideological beliefs of the shooter don't matter. What matters is how they're taken by society. Oh my God, dude. I can't believe what I'm reading on Reuters. This is mainstream media, bro. Oh, buddy. What do you know? Wow. I can't believe it's this bad. This is like the amount of coverage this is going to have from everybody that you can blatantly lie in this fashion on a newspaper this big. Fucking mind-blowing to me. What else are they lying about? Wow. What matters is how they're taken by society. If our society chooses to keep pointing fingers, oh my God, tone down the rhetoric, you Nazi, you fascist. When the person turns out to be right, left, or just unstable, then the violence will grow from pointing fingers, regardless of the act itself. These people are out of their fucking minds. Kleinfeld said most perpetrators of political violence were not clearly on one ideological side or another. Have you watched the last fucking 10 mass shootings in the United States? Huh? This is crazy. Dude, this is the mainstream that these people read here. Too afraid he might say something a little too listen to this. Let me update this. Are there more? Oh no, there's more comments. Let's see. This is crazy. Dude, what about news? What the fuck languages? What is going on here? I didn't click on that. Reddit news, bro. Let's see. Let's see. Nothing on the updates for the shooter. 3 fired FBI officials sue Patel. Great story. Cool fucking story. Leaked ICE documents. Okay, great story. Nothing. Initial suspect released from custody after interrogation. Nothing, bro. Are you kidding me? This is how many people are in this? There's 5.1 million weekly visitors here, and not one of you. What about hot? Hot is usually stories that are rising quickly with a lot of votes. San Diego Navy doctor, shit. Lawsuit says Musk, shit. Teachers and professors nationwide, shit. Fed cooks claim, shit. Niagara rally, shit. 6 more officers fired, shit. U.S. universe, shit. I voted, garbage. Meth burn run, garbage. Woman, garbage. Exclusive, Fed governor cook, garbage. NATO announces more, garbage. Person killed, ICE officer injured. All right, poor officer. Hopefully he's okay. Istanbul, garbage. Where is the updates? Nothing. It doesn't exist. New. California prosecutors say dog's ballot was owner's crime. Jesus Louises. We got guys voting with their dogs in California. Lost causes. Nothing. Nothing about this. Bro, it's not on here at all. At all. It doesn't exist in the news for them. They know nothing about this. Crazy. Suspect in Charlie's killing identified. That has 15,000 comments. And if we search by new, does anybody mention this? Nothing. Unbelievable. The last comment was 52 minutes ago. That's crazy. Wild, bro. What about world news? Another big one, 47 million people. This is a world news event. Let's go by new. Again, Zelensky, Spanish capital, nothing, no updates. That's crazy. Politics is the worst one. We were just on politics, right? Let's do conservatives next. Yeah, we were just on this one. Look at that. The first post 6 hours ago. Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson lived with his transgender partner. Sources tell me. 6 hours ago with how many? 1,200 comments. 6 hours ago, guys. But the largest subreddits on this ultra-liberal website do not mention this at all. Do you see the differences here? CNN terrorism analyst demands we stop looking. We have to hear this one. Hold on. No way.
Well, will the rhetoric get toned down? I mean, again, I go back to what was on the bullet from this kid was fascism, and that's only coming from one side currently in this debate, and it's on every placard and every poster around the country. I mean, I think it's a valid question, but are they going to live up to what they say they're going to do with the Nazi and the fascism and the like? Yeah.
Do you I don't think we know, just to be clear, I mean, just law enforcement people, I don't think we know the meaning of his message. We know his history.
Bella Ciao is an anti-fascist thing. It says fascist, catch this.
Then I'll give you his history. Then I'll give you his history.
Wow. Do you see their gaslighting on CNN?
Right? Think about his history. His history, but this is not the
Why are we debating that? This is what I'm
that's why I wanted to tell you.
This
was my point, not yours. This was my point, not yours.
Why do women address men like that? That's so annoying. Oh my God, dude. She knows a lot of things. She does know a lot of things. Yeah.
The point is, who cares? A man was killed. And you have yet to say political violence is
who cares,
bad,
dog?
Period. That's yours.
Who cares, bro? We just, a guy was murdered. Who cares what the motivations of the killer were? Why did he want to kill this guy? Who cares? Will you just denounce the rhetoric? Who cares? We've been calling you Nazis and fascists and authoritarians, and you're going to take away people's rights and their liberty. Who cares? Listen, I know they shot this. Who cares why? We need to tone the rhetoric down. Don't you see how dangerous it's become? We don't want retribution for this shooting. We like our nice, cushioned liberal lives behind nice, big gates, guarded by big, strong police officers and private security. Who cares? Let's not fan the flames of this incendiary language. We've gone too far. Stop it. Who cares? Unfucking believable.
The point is, who cares? A man was killed. And you have yet to say political violence is bad, period.
Holy
That's
shit.
all that people want from the president. That's all. And we're getting this spin up of the you and this and what. Stop counting. Stop looking, because you're not going to divine a perfect motive.
Yeah, actually, we are, by literally talking to his furry boyfriend. Boy, that age like milk.
In this case, I think we're looking for it. You're not going to divine it. We generally don't.
Yeah. Do you know, like half of them have a manifesto and they tell you exactly why they did what they did? What? Oh, right. Beautiful. Ah, look, another post here 4 hours ago. So we have this one from 6 hours. Then we have another one, you know, nice stuff. Memorials, wisdom from J.K. Rowling. Where's the Charlie Kirk monuments? They're making fun of that. CNN terrorism analyst. That was the one we just watched. Transgender roommate who tipped off FBI is identified as Lance Twiggs. This was posted 4 hours ago. 4 hours ago. Oh, a compilation of Democrats getting fired from their jobs? Where is it?
I mean, fired from my job.
You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
So I've lost my job.
You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
Fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my fucking job.
You're fired. Get out.
My ears, bro.
So I was just fired from my job.
Goodbye.
You're fired. Get out. You're fired. You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
Another one bites the dust. The cancellation of Democrats in progress.
You're fired. Get out.
Get him out.
Meet Haley Curdell, a 911 dispatcher from Nashville, Tennessee.
You're fired. Get out. You're
Get him.
fired. You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
Damn. Apparently a lot of them are getting fired. Quite a lot. Okay. All right. Jeez Louise. What is it? It's almost midnight here. We got to get some sleep. Let's get
One
the super
more
chats.
5 calls I'm trying to save, but it's relevant here. I'll never forget when you told me most people just want to be told what to think, etc.
Yeah, it's so true. That shocked me to my core. That was a conversation I had with my cousin, by the way. She
There's other players
didn't want to think.
aka the swamp.
Thanks, Xander. Swamp never ends, don't you see? It's all one giant swamp, and you're not allowed in it.
First time catching a live. Sad, it's under these circumstances.
It is. There'll be plenty more of them. Hopefully funny ones. More relaxing.
At this point I don't trust a word said by anyone who is an authority. Watch Utopia. The scene where there is a school bang bang. It shows us exactly what's up.
Thanks, Daytime Mystic. Appreciate you, brother.
I know I said I would save, but she knows. Okay, smooth criminal, all right, take the money. Rolling eyes face emoji.
Yeah. Well, listen. I showed you guys a little bit of how insane Reddit is. And if that's the main website you use to get all your information and your news, we can see how we are so cooked and disconnected. They're quite literally propagandizing half of the country with very little effort. When will they start? Maybe in a few days from now, they'll start talking about it, but you've already seen the news. We've already discussed it. It's on multiple channels. The president has addressed it. left stream, I like to call it left stream media, but the left mainstream media will not. So, yeah. Anyways, appreciate everybody for their super chats. Appreciate all the viewers tuning in, guys. I know these have been super last minute. I got a little bit of energy after eating some healthy food. And we had the breaking news essentially with being vindicated on what this guy did and who he was and how he was involved and the mentality and ideologies he was following. And yeah, why not? So we will be streaming again soon, maybe even tomorrow. We'll see. I have no idea. I need to move into the new place soon and then hopefully set up my new real studio where I could really stream and be much more professional looking, like the old studio was back in the day, if you guys remember, where the painting behind me with like the, what was that, a bear? Like a bear and a lion, or a wolf, a bear and a wolf fighting. Some gold painting. Yeah. Anyways, take care of yourselves, head on a swivel, be very careful, watch your six, hug your family, go work out, eat clean, take care of your mind, your body, read, touch some grass, get away from the noise. We'll see you on the next one.